Hello and welcome. I'm Pamela Morison, a member of SWE's Board of Directors, and it's an honor to be here with Guayente Sanmartin, the 2025 recipient of the Society of Women Engineers Suzanne Jenniches Upward Mobility Award, endowed by Northrop Grumman Corporation. This is one of SWE's Apex Awards, the highest level of award SWE offers. The Suzanne Jenniches Upward Mobility Award honors individuals with 20 plus years of professional experience who have succeeded in rising within their organizations to the level of general manager or higher. It is such an honor to have you here, Guayente.
Thank you, Pat, for inviting me and for everything SWE and you do in particular. Thank you.
Let me share a little bit about myself. I'm currently in the first year of my 2-year term on the board of directors. I'm working with the Community Building Directorate, where we have working groups for member engagement, affinity groups, and section and affiliate support. I'm also working with headquarters on the global strategy. I've been a member of SWE for more than 25 years, joining as a collegiate at Rochester Institute of Technology and remaining active and holding a range of positions at the collegiate, professional, and society levels across South Ohio, Santa Clara, and now Columbia River professional sections. Most recently, I led the society level awards program implementation team that refreshed the awards in 2024. And for this reason, it is a great honor for me to be here with Guayente today. Guayente is the Senior Vice President and Division President for the Commercial Systems and Displays business at HP Inc. in Palo Alto, California, where she is responsible for planning, developing, and executing the commercial PC and displays solutions portfolio. She is receiving this award for guiding the development of new processes in artificial intelligence for personal computing, for authentic leadership at every career step, and for her unwavering dedication to empowering women and STEM professions. Guayente, truly congratulations on this award, and I'm looking forward to learning more about you today.
As I said, like Pam, it is a super exciting, profound honor to receive this award. You know, that for me is not only for me, but for all the women, you know, that have created the space for this to happen.
Agree. It is. It's a wonderful honor that we have more women now in these spaces and all that hard work that it's taken over the last several decades to get to this place. You personally work in a fascinating space of developing new processes for artificial intelligence for personal compute. What excites you about this space and what gets you going every day?
Let me tell you like one secret. No, as you said, my title is PS, no, like which is the PC business of HP, commercial business lead. But what I am is truly I'm the leader who is helping transform the way we work, not only in HP, but how artificial intelligence and other technologies are going to reshape the way we work to make every worker more fulfilled. And let me just share, you know, like what is so exciting. HP ran a research every year that has been testing 14,000 workers and managers across all the world in very different countries. And we test what is their relationship, the health of the relationship with work. And this year, only 20% of knowledge workers are fulfilled at work, 8 points below last year. So work is not working. But I'm convinced and I believe that with technology, which is one of the drivers for fulfillment at work, we can improve this fulfillment and make people happier at work. So that's my belief, my purpose, you know, and what I'm committing to do. So how can I not be excited? It's not just doing the next PC. It's creating the experiences through technology that are going to make people, you know, like collaborate better, have more flow at work, and at the end, be more fulfilled.
Those are some really ambitious goals with HP. And it's great to hear that not only do you understand where workers are today with their fulfillment, but with work, but you're also taking actions to try to make that better. Because I know many of us would like to be a lot more fulfilled at work than we are today.
one other data point, Pam. When we evaluated, like different tools that people are using and the link, of technology with fulfillment, we saw that those workers that are using AI tools today, which could go any variety of them, any AI tool, they tend to have 20 to 30 points higher satisfaction than those that do not. And when we look at these 20% that are fulfilled at work, 50% of them say that they are actively using AI tools every day. So there is a link, like on both things. That's why, like when we think about the future, we need to think about this technology as an enabler, like for the future of work.
That's great. I mean, that idea that AI capabilities can make work more fulfilling, that they are truly delivering on that promise of taking out some of the redundant tasks and enabling workers to really focus on where the value is amazing and very exciting for the future for all of us in the workplace.
And even to also not only do things as you were saying, AI will help us, remove things that are more repetitive tasks, but things also we would be doing things that we couldn't do before. For example, do you know that today I have a coach on my side that is helping me, just go through this meeting and this presentation? Like this coach live real time is helping me, when I speak too fast. Still, it cannot correct my Spanglish pronunciation, but I'm sure it will.
That's awesome. I didn't even think about that from a public speaking standpoint, especially someone in your role that does so much public speaking, both internally and externally. Just those little reminders that, help us show up and present in the way that we want to be heard. That's amazing how that capability is helping and supporting you here. Let's move on to our next topic, which is also near and dear to both of our hearts. Throughout your career at HP, you've worked across teams on every continent, and you've been placed in multiple continents through your career. Today, you lead an organization with greater than 1,400 employees that span 6 countries. How do you tailor your leadership style when working across all these cultures while also maintaining authentically what makes you Guayente?
Okay, so first, as you said, I have been fortunate to work in HP and being able to work not only in different functions, engineering, product marketing, partnerships, but also in different businesses, print, services, the PC side, but also the most important thing, in different countries and continents. As you can see, I was born in Spain, in Barcelona, and then I moved to live in Singapore, and then I moved to the US, managing one of the businesses, then back to Barcelona, then back to the US. So I have been so fortunate, to live in those many countries and different businesses with different people. And one of the things that I learned is what I call the diversity of soul, meaning every one of us, we're different. And it may be related for the gender, the age, the education, the religion, many things. And what I have loved is to not only appreciate the diversity of soul, but also to make sure that the voices are included. So one thing that I love, after all these learnings of living abroad and people express themselves in different things, they need to work in different ways. How do you include the ways of working and how you include any voice that has something to do to improve your business, to improve the customer outcome? That is has been my biggest learning, is to have the empathy and the inclusion capabilities to make sure that all the voices are being heard.
I love that. I really love that idea of both the empathy and the inclusion. And being someone like you that has worked across all continents in my career and traveled extensively, I always talk about the idea of what's human versus what's cultural, because as somebody that travels, I love to watch just how people behave around the world. And there are so many things that are truly human. And then there are the elements that are cultural, and having that understanding of we all want the same things. We all want to be happy, and, we all want to take care of our families. And those are very human things. But then the traditions and the way that we celebrate those things can be different. And I love that, of having the empathy and the inclusion. to enable our global teams to work well together.
And one important thing you were mentioning, Pam, is it is how do you keep the authenticity? And in my case, I'm super open, passionate. Some people love it, others not. So I think one of the things that I have always tried to do is I have to learn to adapt, to be empathic, but I do not change who I am, especially the values. When we talk about authenticity, is I'm very true to my values always, and I will not adapt my values, but I will adapt the way of working as much, as I can. But that is, I think, like the authenticity is keeping your values strong, like that. Don't change them, but adapt, how you reflect them.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think it's something that really comes through with you, Guayente, is that your values are your values and they're always present. Your approach, having seen you interact with teams on different continents and different time zones and such, sometimes your approach or your tone or your words may be more inclusive of that culture. But like you said, your values are your values. We all know where you stand, Guayente, as a leader, and that's just great to see.
Thank you.
Well, let's transition a little bit and talk about life outside of work. So you have founded multiple organizations, including Club de Executives Silicon Valley, and are a board member for Humane IT Care and a board member for two other groups in Barcelona. One, I don't know how you find the time to do all of this, but two, what motivates you to do this work in your community and stay engaged not only professionally at work, but also with the broader community outside of work?
So let me tell you a little story, and it's related to Humane Care, which is a biotech company founded here in Barcelona. I attended a startup conference many years ago. And after the conference, two young guys came and told me, like, Guayente, we want to talk with you. And they were from the biotech world. I say, why do you want to talk with me? Well, it results that they were the founders, like couple, like Nuria and his husband and her husband. They were setting up a company and they had this great idea about like mental health. Like when people with mental health issues leave the hospital, no one is taking care about them 24/7. So they thought, like, what if through wearables, like we can't, like, just not only control, but really predict if these people are going to have any major crisis. I thought the idea, the purpose was so great that immediately I said, these people are too good. The idea is too awesome. So I want to protect it. So that's a little bit what has happened to me. Like when I see those initiatives where I think I can bring value and that there is a great purpose, that is being done. So in this case was the purpose of the company, and also there was a woman, as part of the founding team of a startup that is not usual. And then it's truly what I thought, oh my goodness, I need to help them. So the same thing has been with the rest of the things. I can tell you, Pam, that like I do dedicate as many times hours, and days as possible for many diversity and inclusion topics as I can. So like that, I always say that is my hobby, so that's like first is like family and work, and then is like all these women. I try to coach and bring women, to the table and in any aspect, like as I can. And that's like a part of my passion and my hobby.
I love that, I know you have a very demanding job, and I know that you are very committed to your family as well, but that you make time for your passions. And again, it's part of when we talked before about that authenticity and what makes you Guayente is your passions are very much present in everything that you do. And it's great that you use that time and that space that you have outside of work to continue to drive those passions forward. I really appreciate that bit of advice on how to find organizations that you might want to be engaged with their boards on. I know many of us that are in these senior leadership roles are starting to think about, how do we transition from just doing things inside our companies or working with nonprofits to actually helping to support corporate boards as well. And so great idea there of finding organizations that you're passionate about, but also that align with your values when you think about where you might want to get engaged.
Yeah. Many opportunities, sometimes too many. The selection is the difficulty. Yes.
Understandable. Okay, well, I know that we are starting to run out of time, so I'm hoping that we can get through some rapid fire questions here. The first one, I know that you love to get outside. So, what are some of your favorite hikes or adventures in the Palo Alto area?
So what I love, Pam, is I love walking and spotting flowers, picking them on my walk, and then do natural bouquets out of what I find. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see all of them. They are all flowers that I find. So that is one of my favorite things. Walk and pick flowers.
I love that. In fact, as a mom of small kids, I say that one of the best things about having little ones is that they've forced me to slow down and pay attention to all those little things that I would miss. If it's a flower, if it's a bird feather or a cool rock, we joke about on our walks how we have a treasure limit, because if I didn't, my children would come home with pockets full of everything. But I love that because you find so much joy in nature. And it's great that you take that time on your walks to find the flowers and create those bouquets. So I know one question we always get is there a TED Talk or a podcast that you would recommend to our viewers?
I have many, like favorite ones, but one of the ones that I refer many times is one called How to Make Hard Decisions by a lady called Ruth Chan. What is so important, or like has been one of the TED Talks that I talk the most in my career, is because it shows you that when you have to make hard decisions, you are going to be put it in practice your values. So it's nothing wrong about the tough decisions. It's just like gymnastic to your values. The moment you convert like any hard decision into a practice of your values, suddenly like the stress, the level, you understand also that like any option is good. If not, you wouldn't be this like thinking option A or B. This means both are good. So I think that is one of the TED Talks, and the way she explained it is so good that I just love it. Love it.
I love that. And especially in the world that we're in right now, where hard decisions are just a daily part of life. I think it's something that we're all looking for of how to approach hard decisions in a way that, like you said, you can kind of take some of the emotion out and recognize all options are good options, and it truly is a choice that we're making around them. So I love that. That's a great recommendation. I'll have to follow up on that one.
Yes.
I also have heard that you like to do crafts. So do you want to share a little bit more about some of your favorite craft hobbies?
I haven't done some crafting in a while, but I do any type of crafting. Any. You can imagine I love decor, crafting, but I also try to do knitting, any type of knitting. And like sometimes I do it, like I get obsessed to one type and then I do a lot and then I stop and then do another one. That's who I am. But like doing things with my hands and crafting is one thing that I truly enjoy.
We will have to talk more about that because I am in the same type of camp that I get really intense. Lately, it's been crocheting, but I've also been in the quilting world and I've thrown pottery and done other things. And so we'll have to compare notes on what things we've tried. And I know that there's a few of us at work that always have our knitting or our crocheting in our travel bags with us for the plane ride. So that's great. I also know about you that self-care is a non-negotiable. So do you want to talk a little bit about what self-care looks like for you and how you protect that space?
I think there are several things that I do, but one of the things that took me a while, especially when I was young, like that I was sleeping very little because I'm one person that likes to do everything, friends, family, study, work, fun, knitting, everything. So then I was reducing my sleep. And once I discovered that for me to be in good mood, in good tone, in good brain, sleeping was a non-negotiable. I do other things. I walk, as I told you, like walking for me is very important in nature, but sleeping is non-negotiable.
I think that's great. As women in a male-dominated profession, I think sometimes we push ourselves to, meet not only our own expectations, but others' expectations. And like you said, many of us are that maximizer personality where we want to try to do it all. And, I agree with you. I can't go without sleep. It's probably the hardest thing when I travel internationally, especially, is making sure that I get that sleep. And I have colleagues that joke about me sleeping on planes and other trains and all kinds of other places because sleep is a non-negotiable for me too. So another great question that we have to kind of close it out and kind of plays on this futuristic looking that you have. If you could go back to school today, what area of engineering would you focus on with all the things that are changing in the world?
I'm a product person, no? And one thing that I don't regret, in fact, I love that I did not like engineering. I'm a double E, but then I did an MBA, which I loved. But for products, one thing that I always regret that I had not done enough is human-centric design. That these three things is what make a product person, a product leader, uh, the best one. So that's the thing that if I could go back, I always ask people, do not only like the technical part of the role, engineering, or like that part, but also put a human part, more on the soft, on the user interface design. Human centric design is one thing that I would do more, or even a little bit more like human behavior, not only from the product, but also for managing organizations. That's the two things that I would add into more an engineering, technical, MBA, to the two things that I did, but I would add this humanistic studies a little bit more profoundly.
I love that. And I love that many of the universities have gone in that direction with like their senior design projects or their multiple disciplinary studies programs to really encourage that interaction and that understanding of customer behavior or user behavior, and not just so much about the product or the design or the market strategy, but rather how all those pieces come together in order to really make great products. It's a wonderful area, and I think there's a lot of great schools that are really pushing it forward. So I agree with you. It's one I'd love to go back and learn some more. Well, again, congratulations, Guayente, on receiving the 2025 Suzanne Jenniches Upward Mobility Award endowed by Northrop Grumman Corporation. You are truly a deserving recipient of this award, and I think all of us have enjoyed just getting to know a little bit more about you and some of the wisdom that you bring into this position that you hold in your corporation, as well as, how to continue to bring others up with you. So it has been nothing but an honor to get to sit here and talk with you today. And I hope that those watching or viewing this online later also are enjoying getting to know a little bit more about you.
The honor is mine, as I said. Thank you, Pam. And thank you, SWE, for the award.